Where do I even begin? Okay, hi! I'm Cherry and you've stumbled upon my channel, and today I'm going to be talking about the most disappointing and worst books I read in 2020. Again, very late, but it is what it is. There is quite a bit to talk about, and this video could get very lengthy because if there is one thing I'm good at, it's getting angry. So let's just get on to the books. Let's start with my only DNF of 2020, and my first DNF in literal years. It's Tell All by Chuck Palahniuk. Holy fuck. This book's writing style was a total nightmare to read. Okay, facts. I collect Chuck Palahniuk books for no other reason other than they're a wild fucking ride. But I can't enjoy the ride if I understand absolutely nothing in it. Nothing. This book is just so full of unnecessary references to old Hollywood stars that Chuck Palahniuk kept that Wikipedia list open throughout the entirety of writing this goddamn book. Every 2 lines there are names of dead actors that I know nothing about. It just made everything so difficult to read. While Chuck Palahniuk books are typically a hit or miss for me, they're all a unique and overall pretty fun experience actually, but I could not enjoy this book. Even if I tried, and let me tell you, I tried so freaking hard. It's super short, and I couldn't even get through half of it. The thing is, I should have checked Goodreads before buying this book. I bought it on sale, don't worry. It's just that I didn't think it mattered because Chuck P books typically have low ratings for the very fact that they're bizarre. They're just really fucking weird, and usually we love that. So I assumed the same here. And who fucking boy was I wrong. The Goodreads summary says it all, dude. It's just I should have known. I should have fucking known, but I chose to trust Mr. Chuck and he betrayed me like this. But yeah, this book is going in my unhaul pile at the end of the year for fucking sure. Okay, now let's get on to the disappointing reads. These books aren't exactly bad. It's just that I had very high hopes for them, and for one reason or another, they ended up just being pretty meh for the most part. Let's start with the least disappointing to most disappointing. The first book is Blood Countess by Lana Popovich, which I gave 4 stars. Which you might be wondering, why is a 4-star book included in this video? Well, let me tell you why I expected a whole lot more from this book than I was given. Growing up, I had this unhealthy obsession with Elizabeth Bathory. And honestly, she still pretty much lives in a dark corner of my mind rent-free. So you can only imagine how excited I was to know that someone wrote a retelling, and a sapphic one at that. Being considered the most deadly female serial killer in the world, you'd think this book had more bloodshed. I was pretty lenient though, and expected like a virgin to drop dead at around the halfway mark at least. But nah, man, nah. The horrifying scenes didn't happen until like 70 to 80% in, and they were pretty tame. I guess I can't complain considering this book is marketed as YA horror more than anything, but the story mainly focused on the love story between Elizabeth and the main character. I'm speaking as a huge horror fan though. If you're prone to getting queasy, I still suggest being careful when picking this up because there are torture scenes. And they are, okay, they're not really super graphic, but they are pretty detailed. This was not a bad book by any means. I was just left wanting more. The writing style was gorgeous though, so I will definitely be picking up Poison Priestess by Lana Popovich when it comes out later this year. Let's lower the ratings down a notch. The next read is not bad, but it's not that good either. kinda cute but super mediocre for the most part, and that's Somewhere Only We Know by Maureen Gu. I gave this book 3 stars. I enjoyed it, but it was just the way the story went was very unrealistic. But like, what did I expect from a plot where a K-pop star runs off with a boy she met on a bus and gets swept up in a romantic adventure around the city without being recognized by fans in the city where she just finished her sold-out concert? That's not a spoiler, by the way. That's like a prelude to literally everything that happens. If you like K-pop, or just want a cute romance where you don't have to think too much, then you can pick up this book. It's nothing special. The writing wasn't spectacular, but there were plenty of cute, soft moments that I'm sure YA romance readers will definitely enjoy. I don't really have much to say about this. It was just okay. Am I going to pick up another Maureen Gu book in the future? You fucking bet your ass I will. But I'll be saving that one to read when I'm in the mood to not think too much. Apparently her other book, I believe in a Thing Called Love, I think it's called, is about the typical perfect student whose romantic experiences are always a complete disaster, and she turns to Korean dramas for help winning over a guy or something like that. Again, sounds cute, so I'm saving that for a plain and simple day, which this book is perfect for as well. Finally, The Ultimate Disappointment. Emergency Contact by Mary H.K. Choi. Good fucking God, was this book boring. I got this book on sale, that's why it's in hardcover. I read it for last year's round of Asian Readathon, and I was honestly pretty excited because I've heard so many good things about Mary H.K. Choi, especially from friends and a few of my favorite booktubers. But I only had one constant thought while reading this book, and that was, I just hope it would fucking end. Okay, I hate DNFing books because sometimes the story does eventually pick up and I end up giving the book a relatively good rating for the latter part alone. But Jesus Christ, this book did not pick up at all. Okay, so basically, this book is about a college-age boy and girl, and they decide to make each other their, you guessed it, emergency contact. I have no qualms about the writing style. Mary H.K. Choi's writing style is good, actually. Descriptive and very easy to read. It's just that this book was so fucking boring. The main female character wasn't at all likable because she was your typical special snowflake. I'm so awkward, I'm not like other girls type. I swear to God, I wanted to punch her for most of the book. It's bad enough that the story went absolutely nowhere. The main POV doesn't redeem anything either. So yeah, 2 stars, maybe 2.5, but overall a huge disappointment. Will I give Mary H.K. Choi another chance? Sure, yeah, especially since she's coming out with Yolk later this year, and it's a book about eating disorders, so I'll definitely be checking that out. And also maybe Permanent Record will be a much better experience, but I won't be picking up her books anytime soon. We're down to the last 2 books. Books I should have just DNF'd, books I was tempted to DNF, but the blazing dumpster fire made it hard for me to look away. We'll start with the lesser evil of the 2, and that's Night Face by Lydia Peever. Absolutely no hate to the author as a person. I'm really disappointed this book is even on here. I fucking love Lydia, but I promise honesty, and even though I hate to say it, this book was just not it. Where do I even begin? Okay, let's start with the rave reviews. Initially, I was pretty fucking sold because of all the 4 and 5 stars Night Face got, My favorite horror booktuber even recommended this book in one of her videos, saying it was how vampire fiction should be written. Vampire fiction is meant to be written. Then I read it and I struggled to even finish it, and I was like, wait, what? Okay, so the good points first. The gory parts, when they happened, were fantastic. There weren't many of them, but those bits were the only redeeming parts of the book. They were written in such a detailed manner that you can imagine them vividly, and it was absolutely amazing. The gore parts, just chef's kiss, you know, it was really good. But the rest of the book though, dude, the Goodreads summary was super misleading. Everything in that summary happened for a fleeting, very irrelevant moment. Cynthia, which was mentioned in the summary, was barely in the story, and she's the only other character ever mentioned in that summary. This book is also marketed as Vampire Evolution, and they mentioned vampires like a total of 3 times. And I mean the word vampire, but actual vampires and other vampire shenanigans happened only around 80% into the story. So you ask, what happens for most of the book? Literally nothing. The way the story led up to the climax did not make any sense. I'm not even sure there was a climax. Majority of the book felt completely unnecessary. Like, I was reading one book at the beginning and then a completely different one when I was like 60% in, and yet nothing happened during either halves. While preparing for this video, I checked out the reviews again, and I just don't see where they're coming from at all, and I'm so fucking sorry. I feel so bad, but I promised my honesty, and that's what you're getting. Okay, my memory card got full, and that's probably karma because this video just proved that I am a piece of shit. Anyway, let's continue with the last book. Finally, the worst book of 2020, and probably of all time, Alex as Well by Alyssa Bergman. Let me start by saying that just because there's representation doesn't exactly mean it's a good one. This book is absolutely terrible, and it's a very harmful take on being trans and intersex. One comment on Goodreads said it perfectly. They said, well, it was readable. However, I can't say that I enjoyed reading it, and that pretty much sums up my experience as well. Basically, Alex as Well is about an intersex adolescent. Alex was brought up a boy, even though she was born intersex and eventually identifies as a girl. Her mother, as you would expect, is the antagonist and pretty much abused Alex for identifying the way she does. Sounds realistic enough, right? Life for queer kids can be cruel. I know that well enough. But the weirdest fucking thing about this book is that it made it seem like Alex had multiple personalities. In the very beginning, we're introduced to 2 Alexes. Girl Alex was nice and timid, and then boy Alex was rude and violent. And also Alex manages to enroll at a new school without telling her parents, and I have no fucking idea how that is even possible. Like, what the actual fuck is going on? There were parts that I liked, which is why I couldn't give it just 1 star. Like, for example, the forum portion where the mom complained about Alex to other moms. Her peers would then reply to her forum, what do you call that thing in the forum? Forum post, yeah. Her fellow moms would then comment on Alex's mom's forum post. Then there was always this one commenter who denounced Alex's mom, saying there's literally nothing wrong with your daughter. And yes, she is not your son, she is your daughter if that's how she identifies as. That's pretty much the only good thing about this book though. For the most part, there were just so many things wrong with the representation in this book. I don't even know where to begin, and if my rant will ever end if I do start again. I am just so shocked that someone would let this book come to existence. Like, don't books, manuscripts have to go through like rigorous editing or something before publication? Like, what the actual fuck, right? It is also beyond me why I thought it would get any better when it ended. I'll leave a link to my original blog post in the description if anyone's interested to read my full thoughts. Expect a lot of anger and a lot of confusion. Anyway, I'm gonna end it here before I go into cardiac arrest. I am so sorry for being ranty, but I guess that can't be helped with these kinds of videos, can it? These books are definitely going in the unhaul pile. Okay, maybe not this one. Maybe I'm keeping Somewhere Only We Know because it's cute and some of my friends might want to borrow it. Emergency Contact, I'm not sure. We'll see by the end of the year if these books are staying, but Alex as well and Mr. Chuck, I cannot stand looking at these, so I'm saying goodbye to them forever. But yeah, that is all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you got something out of this video one way or another, even though it was mostly just me being fucking furious. And I will see you, I hope, in my next one. Goodbye! Oh my god, the lighting. Somewhere. Oh my god, are you kidding me? Okay, whatever. You know what? It's gonna be what it's gonna be. Why is the lighting like this? Can someone please explain? Oh. Jesus fucking Christ. Emergency Contact by Mary H.K. Choi. Sorry.